Panda, feel free to use this as the shitposting introduction before the music starts. But my husband and I went to a block party that happens in our city for St. Patrick's Day yesterday. And I had one full pint of green beer, like 3 margaritas.
Nice.
2 more green beers after that, a rum and coke, and then when we came home, I had like 2 more glasses of wine.
And now you're watching
Madoka. So I am very tired, and hopefully we can get through this relatively quickly. Hello, and welcome to Madoka Magicast, a podcast devoted to the dark magical girl anime, Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I'm your host, Amanda, and I'm joined by my co-host, Yasha, and sometimes co-host, Vanna. Or I guess now you are an always co-host,
Hi.
Vanna.
Yeah. Hello.
They are the owners of the biggest English language revolutionary girl Utena fan site, Empty Movement. I'm joining them as they watch Madoka Magica for the first time ever, and we're going to talk about what they loved and what I love about the show, and what we also maybe don't love about the show. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. How about you?
Not any different from the, 15 minutes ago where we totally didn't just record episode 1.
Certainly not. Certainly not.
Yeah. It's the next day right now.
Yes.
Yeah. There's definitely been some time passed.
Yeah. Time lapse.
We are here to watch the second episode, which is titled That Would Be Truly Wonderful. It first aired January 13th, 2011. Written by Gen Urobuchi, storyboarded by Yoshiharu Ashino, episode directed by Masahiro Mukai, and animation this episode was done by Mika Takahashi, Noburo Jutsuhara, and Fuyumi Toriyama. What did you guys think about this episode?
I quite liked it. Yeah. I liked that we were moving into the dream sequences more.
Yeah, my favorite part is definitely the Witch Labyrinth, so being able to see that and see what's going on in it and get a little more explanation of what being a magical girl
looks
will
like
do
in this
for
world.
you and to you is very interesting.
This episode I think it is a little bit slow. There are a lot of episodes that I feel are a little bit slowly paced. This one has a lot of exposition in it.
Yeah, this is the info dump episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a lot to set up for the rest of the series, but we're going to try to get through it as best as we can. Try to make it fun. So, basically, the cold open for this episode starts with Madoka waking up from a dream again, but she's dreaming about what had happened in the previous day.
With the guns and the PPU and...
Yeah. And when she wakes up from the dream this time, she's like, oh, it's a dream again? But no, among all her Kyuubey-looking stuffed animals is the actual Kyuubey, which proves that all the stuff that happened the day before was not a dream and that this is real.
Yep.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can even see which one is
there.
Kyuubey. Yeah.
Oh, he's there in the background.
Even though there's like 3 other ones that look very similar, you can tell which one is Kyuubey.
Yeah. Creepy fucker.
Yeah.
See those eyes? Just saying. This big
Kyuubey
round
did nothing
stare.
Kyuubey did nothing wrong.
No.
Well, of course you would say that.
That's just my theory.
Mm-hmm.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your horny level when it comes to Kyuubeys?
2. We'll give it.
Yep. I still maintain...
Only a 2, alright.
Yeah, I maintain that's not going to happen.
He's going to have to get way worse.
Yep.
Before I start getting
He needs to get more evil first.
Yeah. I expect a lot of evil from my evils.
So...
Yeah. Well, after the opening, we're back in the morning routine of getting ready for school, kind of like in the episode before. But instead, Madoka has had this experience with Sayaka and new friend Mami, where she saw this crazy thing happen, and she's thinking back on what happened the day before. And basically, during the course of the episode, we get flashbacks to what happened after the battle the day before.
I like
Mommy
that
basically
as a style of storytelling where it goes from one to, like, from present to past to present to past to present to past. I love that, actually. When it's well done, it's really effective.
Yeah, trying to make it a little bit more visually interesting, this skip ahead and then skip back. Because I think Madoka's in definitely a different frame of mind this episode compared to the last episode.
Oh, definitely.
We should also mention that Kyuubey, no one can see Kyuubey except for the people he wants to let see him, I guess. Because he's chilling in the bathroom. He's chilling in the bathroom, and Madoka's mom doesn't even see him. He's just in the bath
enjoying it, and that's a mood.
Is that a sink or a bucket? Or
who cares? He's totally chilling.
I think it's like a wash bucket, maybe.
Okay.
But anyway,
washing that
non-existent
blood out of his fur. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
They went to Mommy's house after she saved them, and it turns out she is another walking anime cliche where she lives by herself in a beautiful apartment and doesn't have parents.
They're dead.
Mommy says that they're quote-unquote involved now since Kyuubey chose them, so she thought she would explain to them how this is going to work. And she pulls out like this little orb in like a gold setting, and she calls it a soul gem. And she says the soul gem is created when a girl makes a contract with Kyuubey, and it's what allows her to turn into a magical girl. And Kyuubey basically says that the way it works is that he grants them any one wish they want, even the most impossible thing they can think of, he's capable of granting. And in exchange, he creates a soul gem for them, and they have to use it to fight witches. And that's basically what magical girls do and why he makes them, to fight the witches in the world.
This is a creepy offer. I'm sorry. It's just straight up. This is like Faustian bargain territory here, though. Seriously, it is.
It totally is.
It is, because, again...
We've already been spoiled about that, by the way.
A little bit. Yeah.
Oh no, really?
A little bit. I know that there's something
it's
not
very
right
difficult
about
to...
it. She knows more. Vanna knows more.
I guess I'll shut up then.
Yeah.
But
I know
Alice
there's
did me
something
a
not
solid
right about it.
there. Spoiling that.
Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to not be spoiled on this show at this point.
Yeah.
It's 8 years
it's
later.
It's like being
but
spoiled
LOL,
on Sandman
Faust.
or something.
Anyway. Back to the Hall of Mirrors Terror.
Yeah, the bathroom of mirrors and glass.
Yeah. So, back in the bathroom, Madoka asks, she's like thinking about this. She was basically flashing back on what happened and thinking about it. So thinking about that, she looks to her mom in the bathroom and she says, "Mom, if you could wish for anything, what would you wish for?" And her mom is like, anything in the world. And she starts having like this crazy little fantasy in her head about overthrowing the corporate hierarchy at her job and becoming the CEO.
But it's a very mundane thing to fantasize. Like, I feel like that's kind of the take home there, is that adults have very mundane, they would just wish to better their adult shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because adults are more grounded in reality, right?
Yeah.
They don't really have that childish... when you're a little kid, you think there's monsters in the closet and monsters under the bed, and then when you get older, you think maybe you're going to help change the world, and, you feel like you can do anything, etc., etc., but adults are a little bit more grounded in the real world. They're kind of set on a path now. And I think another thing that's going on here is it's a contrast between girl and a woman or girl and adult, in the sense of like, her mom being this successful career woman, and she doesn't really wish for things. She just makes them happen.
Yeah.
Like she sets goals instead of wishing.
Yeah.
So that is kind of, I feel like that is an intentional
that's like a commentary. That's like a commentary on being powerless. Like, Madoka feels powerless compared to her mother. Her mother can make these things happen, whereas Madoka at this point
needs
has
to make a
depend
bargain.
on wishes.
Yeah. To have that.
Not only does she need to make a bargain, she doesn't even know what to bargain for. She doesn't really have any goals yet. She doesn't have any passions yet,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like she's sincerely not sure what she would even start to ask for yet.
Yeah, as we'll see later in the episode, one of the issues that she's dealing with in this episode is that she really doesn't know what to ask Kyuubey to give her. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, after having this discussion with her mother, she has another flashback, and Sayaka basically says, "Well, hold on, what's the difference between a witch and a magical girl?" And Kyuubey says, "Well, magical girls are made from wishes, and witches are made from curses." And he says that witches are invisible to humans, which makes them very dangerous, and they are basically what causes mass catastrophes, car accidents, mass murders, suicides. They kind of sow discord in the world, and they curse people until the curse consumes the human. And basically, he explains that witches hide in labyrinths, which is what they had wandered into last episode, all the crazy Inukuri world. Mm-hmm. And when humans wander into the labyrinths, they usually get stuck in them and don't survive, and they end up being like missing people. So, Mommy says that they have to be very careful when they make a wish to become a magical girl, because you're basically risking your life by becoming one. So you have to wish for something that really makes it worth it.
Yeah. So we're going to find out eventually what Mommy's wish was, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you will find out next episode.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
We have been warned a great deal about the next episode, so.
I know. Everyone wants you guys to watch it.
Well, we're going to watch it tomorrow.
Yes. As of recording this, we're watching it tomorrow.
Yes.
I think you'll enjoy it. But the third episode is really where this show actually starts. Like we mentioned that earlier, how the first and second episode are basically just setting up the plot and the rules. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, Mommy invites them to go witch hunting. So she says, if you're not sure about your wish and whether you want to fight witches, why don't you come witch hunting with me and you can see what it's all about?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. So they say, okay, sure. Yeah. Mommy's a good senpai, I think.
I think so. Also very different aesthetic in her apartment. Her apartment's full of prints and things like that.
Yeah. It's very different from the bathroom of doom.
Yeah, there is a noticeable lack of bizarre chairs arranged in a semicircle around the table that they're...
However, there are also several, photograph frames with no photographs, just patterns. Like, she's got several, on the mantelpiece, there's several, photo frames that you would put pictures of loved ones in,
but there isn't anybody.
Yeah. But it's all just patterns and...
Nice catch.
I just thought that was kind of interesting, because there's so much going on in her room, but no presence of other people at all.
Yeah.
Right. So, they are on the way to school the next morning, and Madoka walks up with Kyuubey on her shoulder, and Sayaka has a mild freak out, because Hitomi apparently cannot see Kyuubey. And not only can Hitomi not see Kyuubey, but Kyuubey can also use his powers to let them, talk to each other telepathically somehow.
Creepy.
Yeah. And poor Hitomi sees them making weird faces at each other, and basically just has a gay panic and has immediate gay thoughts about it.
Why?
Yeah.
Why y'all hammering on this way? Why?
Yeah, and then she, runs off all, weird theatrical anime.
Yeah.
She, does literally the anime run.
You've been staring so intently into each other's eyes. Oh, no.
Yeah,
no.
This is so hardcore anime right now.
It really is. But, yeah. I think the implication there is she thinks they slept together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
What else would two people do to get closer? You're both girls, though.
Yeah.
Don't you see?
I mean, I think...
Could ever be.
I think it's just supposed to be a dumb joke, probably.
But,
it's... Yeah.
But still, it's also girl, really?
Get over yourself.
You're not covering up very well there, hun. Sorry about you being the gay.
So, at school, they sit down with Kyuubey in class. Of course, again, nobody else can see them. And they ask Kyuubey, is it okay that you're here in class with us at school? Is it dangerous for you to be here? Because Homer is going to be here any second, and she was trying to kill you the day before.
Oh, yeah.
Kyuubey says, no, not really. School is pretty safe because Mommy is here, and Mommy can protect him if she needs to, and Mommy can also, like, pick up on their telepathy talk.
I'm calling bullshit on this. I'm totally calling bullshit on Kyuubey there.
Why?
Well, I'm sure that Mommy can protect him, but I don't think he needs it.
No,
I
he
don't.
totally doesn't need it.
Anyway. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Madoka, excuse me. I need to say her name correctly. Madoka. People are going to write in and complain about how I don't say her name correctly.
Fuck 'em. I'm sorry.
I know. I care though. I have a degree in Japanese, so I feel like I need to be better at pronunciation than I actually am. So Madoka has another little flashback again after Homura sits down and gives them a dirty look to the day before, and basically they were talking about how Homura is a magical girl the same way Mommy is, and she's a powerful one, but she was attacking Kyuubey, apparently to keep Kyuubey from making new contracts. And Mommy explains that, magical girls they fight witches, but they aren't necessarily doing it for the good of everybody around them. They need sometimes witches give certain rewards for defeating them, and the magical girls have to compete with each other for the rewards. So
EXP.
she said it's actually pretty common for magical girls to not get along with each other.
Yeah, I just want to mention here, like, I'm fairly sure that White Wolf released a role-playing game that was either based on this or, like, there's some kind of interchange going on there. I think it was called Princess or something. I don't know. I will look it up and I will find it so that you can look into it, because it's really interesting to me that something over here would have come so close to what they're talking about there, and I want to know which influenced which. So,
when did the RPG book come out?
I don't know. I gotta find out.
Okay,
so I'll find out.
It is not out of the question that the author of it saw this anime.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
a little
thinking.
bit inspired by it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, though, Mommy and everybody theorized that the reason Homura was trying to kill Kyuubey was to prevent him from making new contracts.
So that she'd get more rewards.
Yeah, and as Madoka is thinking about this during class, not paying attention, Sayaka's sleeping. Nobody's really listening. Madoka is also drawing in her notebook pictures of herself and Mommy. Very cute pictures, by the way. Yeah.
I just want to say here that when I saw that, about her drawing the pictures of them as magical girls, that's when I was like, yep, I guess you're the useless one, aren't you? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, that's a real harsh assessment, but I think that's trope. Yeah. I think that's kind of what they were getting at a little bit, that she's naive and not necessarily thinking of it in terms of reality, but more in just in terms of rose-colored glasses.
Madoka is a very good little girl. Right? She is a good girl. She is a good girl. Yeah. So after class, they're having lunch on the roof, and they're talking about what they might want to wish for. And neither of them know yet what they want to wish for. Sayaka, this is an interesting scene with Sayaka, because she seems to, you guys were saying Madoka's maybe not the brightest, kind of isn't thinking too hard about this stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe being a little bit useless so far. But I think Sayaka seems to have already put quite a lot of thought into this since the day earlier.
Yeah.
Because Sayaka basically says, there's nothing in my life that I want enough to risk my life for it. And she doesn't say the word privilege, but she's basically talking about her own privilege and how, my life isn't that hard, and why do I get a wish for anything when my life is already pretty comfortable, and there's already so many people out there who do need things. To me, and I'm getting the opportunity to do this.
That's like a story red flag, man. That's like, you shouldn't have said that. You just cursed yourself.
Now you're gonna need it.
Yeah, now you're gonna have to.
I think this scene, obviously I can't comment on that, as I've said many times, I will not comment on anything that could be revealed as a spoiler. Mm-hmm. But one of the reasons I like this scene is that it's really setting Sayaka apart as somebody who's maybe a little bit more intellectual in this situation than Madoka is.
The blue hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or even Mommy.
Yeah.
Sayaka's really taking it seriously, and she isn't so much. Madoka doesn't know what she wants to wish for. She has no wish, and Sayaka just doesn't feel like she deserves to get a wish. Yeah. So their conversation is interrupted by Homura, who walks out under the roof all foreboding, and Mami is watching all of this from another rooftop to make sure that she doesn't try anything.
Because,
And, yeah, Homura walks up and she says it's too late because she was trying to kill Kyuubey, but now it's already made contact with Madoka.
There was like a sidelong glance from Homura that made me think she can see Mami.
Yeah.
I think she can, yeah.
On the other
I think it's implied that she knows she's over there.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that Homura didn't come up here to start shit anyway.
No, she's...
Yeah. She asks Madoka and Sayaka if they're going to become magic girls, and basically they say, we don't know. And she says, well, don't forget my warning from yesterday about not changing who you are.
Just don't do it.
Yeah. And then as she's leaving, Madoka calls out to her, what was your wish? She asks her what her wish was when she became a magic girl.
Rude.
And Homura kind of just stops and turns around and stares at her.
That's right.
And
give her the dead-eyed
glare. It's not a glare. It's not a frown.
Yeah.
It's
not
just
kind of expressionless.
It's completely expressionless. Yeah. And it's not even a stare. She kind of just glances at her very quickly and then keeps walking on.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the most innocent thing like an innocent-ass person would ask.
But it's also very personal.
Yeah, that's why. You would have to be very innocent to ask that earnestly.
Mm-hmm. If somebody asked me that, I'd be like,
dude, TMI.
I'm not telling you.
So then we are after school. Hitomi is still having gay thoughts and doesn't want to hang out with them. Homura seems to go and hang out with some other people who are trying to get her attention.
Of course.
But she's also kind of creeping on them, so maybe not. They meet up with Mami to go witch hunting. I guess there's just no room anymore for a third wheel like me. Soon. I love the dub. I can hear the dub voices when I watch this. I know you guys don't like dubs, but
it's just there's nothing wrong with dubs. It's just not what I'm used to.
Oh, I totally get it.
Yeah.
So they meet up with Mami to go witch hunting.
Like, you know how you were talking about how Sayaka's being kind of established as the one that's actually thought about this some? I like that she, whips out a baseball bat because she's the only one that's actually thought, oh, my job is actually going to be to beat things up, so I should bring a weapon. I'm like, that's the straightforward, practical thinking I like to see.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. She's taking this seriously from the beginning. And they look over to Madoka like, what about you? Did you bring anything to prepare? And she just takes out her book of drawings like, oh, I'm thinking of costume ideas.
Like
and you're
said,
like, dude,
useless
but you should bring it back.
Sorry, that sounds really harsh. I'm honestly,
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm
adorable,
teasing the
but
show.
It's also like, but the show also knows
we
that
just
she's
like
just
to
dumb.
We just like to bash characters that we like. That's really good.
Like, I just like that Sayaka is just, being here practical as shit.
Yeah, and Madoka's like, pretty dresses. Like, alright, buddy. Actually, that's one thing I thought. As soon as she pulled out that drawings of dresses and stuff, I'm like, bitch, weren't you paying attention? It's magic.
Yeah.
You don't have to make
magic.
a costume. Magic will happen.
But she's imagining herself as the magical girl, not necessarily as a participant in a Faustian contract, which Sayaka seems to have somewhat more of an understanding of.
Yeah, Madoka is thinking up her superhero identity instead of really thinking about what she would be doing. Yeah. So they head off to go hunt down the witch that they saw yesterday. Mami uses her soul gem to kind of pick up the witch's magic trail, essentially, and they follow it out of the mall and, I guess along this very strange bridge with no buildings in the immediate foreground around it, other than very tall leafless trees, and then there's a skyline way in the background.
Okay, I want to go off a little bit, just a
Walter
tiny tangent here.
Sure.
Because this is a storytelling technique, kind of. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's basically like the descent into hell. You pass through from your normal life, and then things warp and change, and you find yourself in some kind of hellish scenario. And that's what this bridge section seems to me to be, is like, the bridge section is where they're going from one state to the other, from the state of normalcy to the state of, like, it's a transitional period. And I actually just really appreciate that.
Has at least 2 buildings I recognize, but I can't remember the names of right now.
Yeah.
Or where they are. But they're all in different places. Like, they're using buildings from different places.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's just the transition period here is
it's
I
very,
appreciate.
It is a noticeably more strange looking environment than
sinister,
the school and the restaurant.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the sky is orange and red.
It's the spiral stairwell.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, Mommy explains that she could have finished off the witch earlier the day before if Homura had left them alone, basically, or if she didn't have to save them. And Sayaka starts shit-talking Homura like, wow, what a bad person to have done that. And Madoka is just not sure if she's that bad of a person yet, because Madoka is a precious cinnamon roll who believes in people. And Mommy explains that witches tend to congregate around areas that are prone to disaster, like car crashes. She says the red light district, which is interesting.
That's just really
suicide spots,
odd.
Hospitals. Yeah.
I like that. Hanging out at Roppongi.
Yeah. We cut away Roppongi. We cut away to a woman wandering into an abandoned building, basically getting ready to jump from the roof.
When that happens,
taking her shoes off.
There's a van outside. Do you think that's her van? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, because there's I just caught a quick, like, very brief glimpse of it, but it looks like the van is, like, wrecked or something, but I'm not quite sure.
Oh, maybe she was driving and crashed it and then wandered into the abandoned building.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It looks like it's not quite in one piece anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, when they mentioned hospitals here, actually, when they mentioned the hospitals being a bad place for a witch to be, I just flashed to Silent Hill. Like, it's just, I don't know, something creepy.
I like the
about
shoes
that.
being.
Yeah, then we
off.
flash on to the shoes just before she's gonna jump off the roof.
That adulthood symbolism shit.
Well, yeah, it's adulthood symbolism, but it's also, that's, not to get too dark here, but that's common for jumpers.
Yeah.
Is to take
their shoes off.
That is visual language there that she's committing suicide here.
Yeah. But I mean in real life,
entering
too.
another setting.
Oh, no, I know.
Okay.
That's what I mean. Like, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what the show is trying to tell you, just by not saying it, but by showing you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they get to the building.
Van. Sorry, I missed it. I was gonna pause on the van. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, the van. I don't know. There's only so much you can say about the van.
It's just it just stuck out to me for some reason. Yeah.
So the woman jumps. Mommy springs into action, transforms very quickly, and she has like ribbon powers that she uses to catch her and just kind of gently lower her back down to the ground. And they notice a weird symbol on her neck, and Mommy calls it a witch's kiss.
That symbol is super, super well designed. I love it.
Yeah. It is cool.
That's a tattoo people have gotten.
Yeah, she has been cursed by a witch, basically, is what that means. So they go into this abandoned building, and sure enough, there's a little portal pops up, an Inu Curry portal to go into the Sandman cover world.
Oh, I just want to mention that German writing on the wall. Because that also... every time I see words, okay? Every time I see words and I can't tell what they mean, I'm like, I really want to look into that, but I'm sure it's a spoiler.
I'm sure we could do a whole episode just going over the weird symbols in German in the show.
Yeah. I wonder why German.
I think it's a fairy tale thing.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, German is one of those things where it's another one of those cultures that Japan has a
thing
with.
For.
Yeah.
Yeah.
German, French.
French,
deep meaning stuff.
Yeah. So Mommy turns around and gives Sayaka like a super baseball bat.
Yeah, I like that she gets like the super upgrade.
Yeah, the bat is cool. It's jewels.
Oh wait, I might be skipping way ahead.
She has a
No.
bejeweled bat. It's
No, I
great.
think...
Oh, did I already? Okay, sorry. Yeah, they hop into the portal, and now they're in the witch's labyrinth, and we see the cute little mustache men from the day before passing flowers down like an assembly line, basically.
Just before we saw the mustache man, though, we saw Homura come in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right, she's lurking.
She's
lurking.
She's lurking.
Creeping.
She's
Yeah.
So, then we have the mustache men and the
Like
ice cream looking
mustache
guys. God. With all the eyes. Again, with the eyes.
and more German.
Yeah, they're very creepy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't like those things. I don't like the ice cream guys. They
Yeah.
can fuck off.
And it's interesting that you guys mentioned how the real life setting maybe influenced what the inside of the labyrinth looks like, because this one is much more well lit compared to the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a lot of bare cement walls,
Mhm.
which maybe fit this building a little bit better than the under construction mall from last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're running deeper and deeper into the labyrinth. Way off in the distance, they see the mustache men kind of having almost like a little rose mosh pit off in the distance as they're trying to get to the center of the labyrinth.
Rose mosh pit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, there was there was a doorway in the background with something that looked like a word over top of it.
Yep.
But
There was also like 3 figures, like portraits of 3 dudes.
Yeah.
yeah. And then I had that stopped for a reason because that's her shoes show up in that
yeah.
pit full of scissors.
They're juggling around the woman's high heels.
yeah.
Lovely. I love it.
And then there's more doors with writing on them.
And then there's what the fuck trippy ass.
Yeah,
thing.
so
Yeah.
we find ourselves going through like a portal again, like you said. There was a flash of some Napoleon imagery, and then we find ourselves in the middle of the labyrinth where the witch is hiding. And this witch is named Gertrude. And when there's like a freeze frame where the colors get all weird, and there's symbols on the bottom, and that is in the show's made up symbol language. It says Gertrude. This is the Wikipedia description of Gertrude. I think this description probably comes from like one of the games or a trading card game or something like that. Gertrude is the rose garden witch with a distrustful nature. She holds roses dearer than anything else. She expends all of her power for the sake of beautiful roses. Despite stealing the life force of humans who wander into her barrier to give her roses, she loathes the thought of them trampling the inside of her barrier. So she's distrustful and she wants roses, and she focuses on roses above all else. And while she needs humans to come into her barrier to get roses, she hates the idea of them being there, basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So potential references here would be Queen Gertrude from Hamlet, who is Hamlet's mom. Hamlet's slutty mom that Hamlet hates.
Hamlet is an incel. Hamlet needs to shut the fuck up.
Gertrude
about
is
it.
his mom who drinks the poison by accident at the end of the play and dies.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Napoleon's wife was not named Gertrude, but she had a love of flowers and roses, and there's a few Napoleon references in this labyrinth.
Empress Josephine.
And then there is
Yeah.
Saint Gertrude in Catholicism, which is the patron saint of gardening.
Those are really cool.
I like that one.
Those are definitely, like, you can see that there's ties to them there. I can't think of any reason that the Napoleon imagery would be there, aside from, well, Inukuri did use Napoleon imagery on the cover of Barbara.
Yeah.
Star Barbara, or whatever the hell.
So clearly that's a known quantity to...
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't
Inukuri.
know whether that's like...
But I think it's probably a Venn diagram of all of the
Yeah.
Gertrudes, and
probably,
Yeah.
a bit
It's
It's
just
just really neat how
a little bit of here, a little
they're
bit there.
using that. I remember I mentioned this at one point before, but the witch really looks like she belongs in Yume Nikki.
Yeah, it's Yume Nikki as fuck.
Yeah. I'll have to pull up some of that. Okay, we got to the part where they're fighting the witch, and
Okay,
Mommy pulls up
the
her
two
skirt.
guns spewing out of her skirt when she opens her skirt a little bit are so horny. That's just such a horny looking shot to me.
Listeners, if you have any thoughts on Gertrude and you want to point out your thoughts on the symbolism, what you think is going on with this witch, if you think we missed anything, please send us an ask on Tumblr or a message on Twitter or something on Curious Cat and let us know, and maybe we will read your thoughts on the next episode. Anyway,
Gertrude being like, I need you to come check out my roses, but don't fucking check out my roses too much or I'll kill the shit out of you is very...
Yeah.
Anthe.
Well, it's that whole, like, I need to let people in, but I don't like it.
That is a very, very emotionally fraught
and I think
situation.
roses are a good symbol for that, because they're very beautiful, but they have thorns. You know, it's like every rose has its thorns kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're a juxtaposition to, like, the flowers that you see around Mommy that are much, like,
they're more like
simpler
wildflowers.
More childlike.
Delicate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these are highly curated, you know, the huge blossoming.
And butterflies are kind of similar too, because they're very beautiful, but they're also very ephemeral and very delicate. And also they're insects, so if you look too close at a butterfly, it's kind of gross and ugly.
But at a distance, they're always very...
I'm really, really interested to see whether the butterfly imagery carries on through the next labyrinths. Like, I mean, obviously don't tell me or anything. I'm just really interested to see whether that's something that's specific to this witch, or whether that's going to be a carrying theme.
I think that's going to be a theme, personally.
But... Yeah. I know the eyes are going to be a theme.
So Mommy fights Gertrude in a pretty heckin' cool scene with lots of guns and flips and shit.
Yeah. I love the guns.
The guns coming out of the hat is great.
Yeah.
Not so much with the skirt, but the hat, yes.
I think she's just gun.
Yeah.
Gun.
Yeah.
Okay, and fuck off with the little tentacle monster, flowery butterfly mustache guys.
Well, that was a description. Why don't you describe what's happening on the screen instead of staring at it?
So, like, the little, like, ice cream cone butterfly mustache guys with 3 eyes, I see now, kind of are all fluttering around Mommy, and then there's, like, this point where they, like, gather up and coil up her leg and turn into a literal tentacle.
Yeah, and they start, like, throwing her around.
Hang her upside down.
Yeah.
But the shot is it's very, like, yes, I have also seen tentacle porn.
I don't think it's supposed to be a tentacle porn thing necessarily.
It's not, but it's also like that kind of like ee.
Yeah. I mean, like the idea is that it's gonna make you feel icky. That you don't want that touching her.
Yeah, like it's that, not those fuckers, get those fuckers away.
Yeah.
Like
I feel more like the hit she takes when it throws her against the wall is like really bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like they're just...
But I mean, just like as an impression, when you see those things crawl up her leg,
it doesn't
and
feel
wrap
good
around her waist. It's like no, don't
it's
touch
little
her.
things crawling all over your skin. It's like an insect kind of thing again.
Yeah. Like it's that same kind of no thanks. But yeah, like I like that they're establishing that there's a lot of violence in it. Like not in the ooh, this is really gory, but they make it pretty clear that being a magical girl is not necessarily easy or fun or empowering. Like you get thrown around, you almost get killed.
She's really fighting it. She's not doing it's not a Sailor Moon thing where she does her pre-rendered attack and it just kind of throws energy at the monster and it dies. She's really fighting it.
Yeah. Like, it takes a lot out of her.
She's hanging upside down, and the girls are worried about her, but she says, oh, don't worry, I'm not going to look uncool in front of you guys. All of her bullet holes in the floor, where she was shooting at the witch, all these yellow strings start popping out of them, and bringing with them, like, those wildflower flowers that we were talking about earlier, as opposed to the roses.
Yeah, are they strings or vines, or I can't
She
tell.
has ribbon powers.
And then, like, scissors.
Yeah, she has ribbon powers, so I want to say that
like...
they're ribbons, but they're also really far away, so maybe just from the distance it looks like strings. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're, like, kind of sketchily drawn anyway, so... Yeah,
they tangle up the witch, and Mommy she pulls her ribbon off of her collar, and she does her super attack, Tiro Finale, with a big-ass gun.
Yeah, this is the biggest fucking gun. I love it. Zero fucks.
That is extra as fuck.
And kills the witch.
I like the
massive gun. Yeah.
Yay! All the butterflies.
Yes.
And her little tea thing. Now I will drink tea.
She lands and drinks a cup of tea, and she just looks very fancy and very cool.
I like the detail that they show what are they called again?
Soul gem?
No, not the witch's soul gem thing.
The grief seed.
Yeah, it falls beside her in that. I like that. I like that detail.
So let's talk about that. It leaves behind this little black orb. And back in the real world, Mommy explains to the girls that the witch left behind, I think she calls it an egg, like a witch's egg that's called a grief seed. And it can be used, this was the reward that you get for killing a witch. It can be used to essentially restore the magical girl's magic. Like, she holds it up to her soul gem, and the soul gem got like a little bit murkier after the fight, so it takes the murkiness out of the soul gem and makes it shiny and ready for another fight, basically.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting that while this conversation is going on, there's a dead butterfly in the foreground. Like, I don't know, it's another one of those odd things that's just, like, catching my interest. And does this mean something? Does this not mean something? It's just interesting.
And also the blinds in this broken down building are all messed up, and there's, like, vines growing outside. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a weird, and there's, like, long shadows on the floor from the sunset. It's a very interesting shot. Also, the is it me, or does the butterfly move every time it cuts back to that shot of them?
It seems to be drooping more and more.
I think so.
Because it's drooping more and more into the ground.
So Mommy tosses the grief seed over into a corridor, a dark corridor. And she says, "Here, it's good for one more use." And who walks out but Homura?
Who is totes peeping this whole time.
She's been creeping. And Homura's like, "No, I don't want it. You take it." And she very coldly throws it back to her. And she basically leaves without really saying anything. Not saying why she was watching, not helping. You know, she just kind of leaves. So it's kind of like, why were you even there? And, you know, Madoka's like, why can't we just be friends with her? And Mommy says, well, you know, she has to want to be friends for us to be friends with her. So, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a tear in the shoe.
It's such a naive thing for Madoka to be like, can't we be friends? And she has to be told.
Yeah, but that's Madoka.
Yeah, she has to be told that, well, she has to want to be a friend.
That takes two.
I mean, you can try and be friends with somebody who doesn't like you, but
forcefully
it doesn't work
friendship.
very well. I've done that.
Yeah, listeners, don't try to be friends with someone who really doesn't want to be friends with you. Okay? Yeah.
It's just bad all around. I was saying, like, the shoes are ratty. Like, there's a tear in the shoe.
Yeah, we see a shot of the woman's shoes on top of the building again, and there's a tear in the shoe.
Oh, she wakes up and she's like, what the fuck was I doing?
Yeah, she's, like, shocked to realize that she was almost killed herself, and Mommy's just comforting her, basically. And as Madoka's watching this, she's, like, really admiring Mommy just for being able to help people in that way. Mm-hmm. And basically, as the episode closes out, we see Madoka in her room that night, continuing to work on her costume design, and like still not thinking about the wish, but maybe just aspiring to be the kind of person that Mommy is being as a magical girl. Like, that seems to be what piques Madoka's interest the most. She really doesn't care about the wish. She hasn't even thought about the wish all that much. But she's very inspired by just the kind of person that Mommy is being, using the opportunity to help people.
She wants to help.
At this point, you're pretty, like, me. I know that because this is a show called, oh my god, Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
It's a tongue twister.
It is.
Say it fast.
But, I mean, because even in the title, you already know she's going to be a magical girl. Yeah,
you do know
but,
she's going to.
Even aside from that, this is really where the hook is firmly set. And she wishes to help people. Yeah. You know at this point that she's definitely going for it. Yeah. She's fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Basically.
But will the difference be that her wish is less selfish?
I don't know.
I guess we're just gonna have to see in the next episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what do you guys think? What was your one wish for this episode? Either a silly answer or a funny or a serious answer. You know, however you guys want to reflect here.
My wish, I think, is just to know more about the labyrinths. Like, the imagery in there. Like, I'm very, very eagerly looking forward to the next one because I want to see what kind of imagery carries over from witch to witch. Because that's going to tell us something about the themes of the show.
Yeah, I'm looking for, like, I didn't realize that all of the witches were going to have, like, names and kind of descriptions and kind of stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to actually getting, like, a bit of information.
Yeah, what I like about this episode, too, is that it gives you enough information about what's going on to kind of want to know what happens next. Like, okay, you know that... I mean, you know that magical girls use soul gems, and you know that witches use grief seeds, and that they're fighting back and forth for grief seeds, and you kind of know enough going forward, but there are enough unanswered questions about how exactly all of this works that there's more to find out as you go forward, too.
Oh,
Yeah, just looking at this from a storytelling perspective,
it plants
itself well, and then it has a good foundation for going into the rest of the plot. So these first 2 episodes have a lot to set up, but I think they do it well.
There's an interesting bit of convergence here, too, because just as Madoka is hooked by the magical girl, like by the offer, like at the end of this, you know that she's going to do it. And at the end of this episode, your audience is feeling the same way. Like that's when you kind of commit to the show.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to watch the rest of it or not. And I don't know, it's just, that's the kind of thing that when I'm writing stories and such that I pay attention to. So it seems to me that that's just a nice little...
Your audience should decide on things kind of concurrently with your...
Yeah, because that helps you identify with the character more.
Yeah.
I'm curious about Sayaka.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why? Explain.
Yeah.
Come on,
well, like,
talk.
as far as I know, the whole pile of the Become Magical girls. So, but you haven't really gone to, like, so what is it about her that's going to change her mind? How is she going to... Because she does seem to take, like, kind of a more mature approach to it.
Right.
Like, Madoka kind of goes in fairly blindly. Like, I don't think at any point the potential dangers are really gonna register for her until it's a bit too late, whereas Sayaka seems to be much more... considerate to those risks, and it makes me more curious of as far as like what her reasoning is going to be going forward, because she is calculating for those risks, and I'm presumably going to still kind of miss the mark, because if she was completely right, she'd probably never have joined in. Or
well, I still think that something's gonna happen that'll make her
like I'm kind of curious where she's gonna go, because right now she seems way less committed. Like this episode did solidify why Madoka's probably gonna go for it. Like, it's given her a rationale, and not necessarily something to wish for, but something to lead her down this path. Whereas right now, I don't think Sayaka's got anything like that just yet, so I'm kind of curious how they're gonna get her embroiled in this whole mess.
Right.
Because she doesn't seem nearly as impressed with Kyuubey and his shit. So
I guess we shall see in the next episode.
We shall see.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, thank you.
How about you?
Me. That's right.
You? Yeah, your wish.
If I had any wish for this episode, I feel pressured to think of something funny.
No.
You don't have to think of something
I
funny.
would wish that when she did the curtsy and all the guns came out of her skirt, that it was the big-ass guns. And she just did the curtsy and like 20 of those big-ass guns like suddenly floated out from under her skirt. That would significantly improve that shot, in my opinion.
That would take a really big skirt. That's a lot of skirt.
Yes. So thank you for listening to the second episode here. We will be coming back next time with the third episode. People who have seen the series...
Which everybody is really excited for us to watch.
Yeah, people who have seen the series know that some shit happens in the third episode. So let's find out what it is. But we gotta wait until then. We will be streaming it tomorrow, although when people hear us recording this, the stream has already happened.
However, we'll probably still be streaming at whatever point we're at.
Yes.
So you feel free to come
keep a
join
watch
us
out
for
on
these
our...
streams. We're going to be streaming it on Empty Movement's Twitch, and I'm going to be publishing a list of days that we'll be doing this.
Right.
So, yeah, by all means, come hang out and have fun. No spoilers, though. No spoilers.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you for listening. You can follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Madoka Magicast. There are links there to all of our social media, our SoundCloud, our YouTube. Although technically, if you're listening to this, you've already found one of those things, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to it. You can follow me on Twitter at Lambda Power. So that's Lambda like the Greek letter, and then Power. And I am also Sailor Shitpost on Tumblr.
And for me and Vanna, if you should happen to want to contact us in any way or look at things we have done, I'm not sure why you would want to do either of those things, but we're at ohtori.nu. All of our links to Tumblr, Twitter, and everything else are there. But should you just want to hang out with us on Twitter, that is at ohtori_nu.
And I forgot to mention this in the last episode, but our wonderful producer Panda has a podcast called Imagine Me and Utena, which is about revolutionary girl Utena. You can go and check that out. I don't know if I know the Twitter for that podcast off the top of my head.
It's Utenacast.
Utenacast, that's what it is. Utenacast on Twitter. Great show. Yasha and Vanna and myself have all been on that show before in the past as well, so go check it out.
It's a lot of fun.
This is a big happy family.
Yes. And I guess we will see y'all in the next episode. It should be a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send us some curious cats.
Yeah, send us some questions.
Send us questions.
Garbage questions, welcome.
Come talk to us about the show, but no spoilers.
Now, I am the one who will be doing 90% of our social media, so I will filter for spoilers. But just don't you should know not to send them to us anyway, because I will not read them to Yasha and Vanna, and
this is a noble cause.
Not be answering them on the Curious Cat, so please don't even please save those spoiler questions for when we're done, basically.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Bye.
Bye.